Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Lipski. I am the chairperson for Sustainable Haddonfield and also the publisher of Green New Jersey magazine. I and Isla Vassallo over there will be your MCs for this evening. Both Isla and I are members of the TCSA, which is Tri-County Sustianability Alliance. Isla Vassallo is a founding member of the Evesham Green Team and a chair of the Evesham Environmental Commission. We'd also like to take a moment to say thank you to our event planning committee, Valerie Brown from Voorhees Green Team, Camden County, Sean Moen from the Oakland Green Team, Patrick McDevitt from Sustainable Monroe, Vicki Benetti from Washington Township Green Team, Carol Doherty from Cherry Hill, and Lauren Skronsky from Sustainable Jersey. So the Tri-County Sustainability Alliance is one of 9 regional hubs in the state of New Jersey. Our particular hub incorporates Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester counties. The hub helps connect people throughout these towns and counties regarding questions about Sustainable Jersey certification actions, planning sustainable projects, and organizing events like this one tonight. Energy efficiency is essential for reducing our carbon footprint. We can save money, businesses and residents can save money. In a recent article in New Jersey Spotlight, they cited a portfolio of new energy efficiency programs could produce statewide savings of $14 billion. And that 20% cut in electricity and 11% cut in gas is possible. Energy efficiency is widely viewed as one of the most cost-effective ways to clean the air and combat climate change. So let's get this started. This evening we'll proceed in the following manner. We will have a welcome from Haddonfield Mayor Neil Rochford. We'll then have a presentation called A Community Approach to Reducing Your Carbon Footprint. Next, you'll hear about available incentives for businesses and residents. And we'll wrap up the presentations with 3 local case studies from energy efficiency, focusing on municipality, a local business, and one from a resident. So we do kindly ask for you to hold your questions until the end. We will have a Q&A session. So first, we'd like to welcome to the podium our friend and Haddonfield Mayor Neil Rochford. He's a liaison to the Haddonfield Environmental Commission, Sustainable Haddonfield. In addition to serving as the mayor, he serves as the Director of Public Works, Parks, and Public Property. In that position, he's committed to conserving Haddonfield's parks and open space, the preservation of the town's many historic properties, and resolving stormwater management issues caused by past overdevelopment. Please welcome Mayor Rochford.
As you can see, I get all the glamorous stuff here at the borough. Welcome everybody here to the borough of Haddonfield. I just wanted to let you know that I did wear my Jerry Garcia tie. I don't see anybody else here with a tie on, so all the men, you have to leave and come back with your ties. But anyway, it's so good to see such a large group come out. I remember 12, 13 years ago when the sustainable movement was just getting its headwinds, that somebody sat down with me and talked to me about it because I had never really heard of the word sustainability, didn't really quite understood what it meant and what kind of a movement was going to come out of it. And I was kind of an early adapter, and I thought, wow, this is really something I think people will appreciate. And I was running for commissioner at the time, and so I put an ad in the paper saying that I am going to work on sustainable issues if elected, and I went down a list of bullets and everything. And people came back to me and said, Neil, what the heck is this ad? What's sustainability? We got more important issues going on. And I mean, I got skewered by a couple people on that ad, but it was something that I stuck with, and we started a committee. And the committee person, the chair of our committee, was a young lady, and she was from the high school, and she was in the Girl Scouts. And this was her badge, like an Eagle Scout designation piece. And we put together a committee and started working, and lo and behold, we got our bronze certification in our first year, and we were super excited, and we got more and more people involved with it, and more at the borough level and everything. And the committee has been strong and vibrant, and With Laura and Bob's leadership, it continues. We have our double silver at this point, and so now what do you do if you got double silver? You got to go for the gold, right? So my understanding is that when you do go for the gold, you really do have to up your game, and I think that we're up for the task, right, Bob? Right, Laura? So I'm interested to hear what is going on. I am a homeowner who has solar panels on my house. Recently, just a couple days ago, my wife and I were at Lowe's, and we were looking at lawnmowers. And halfway through looking at this thing, I said, "Oh, this is electric." And she said, "Yeah, I want an electric one." And we were looking at it, it's now the cordless now, and it just kind of shows you how the technology continues to evolve with sustainable issues. And I thought, wow, yeah, our next lawnmower is going to be electric, because I know how much pollution that lawnmowers put out. And my understanding is it's quite a bit. The other thing that just recently, I was just talking with Bob about this earlier, is after Christmas, I wanted to do something with our Christmas trees, the ones that people put out on the street. And I saw on social media that Island State Park was collecting trees, and I called them and I said, "Can we bring some trees?" And they said, "Well, how many?" I said, "I don't know, like 500, 1,000. I said, "I don't have a real good count." And they said, "Wow, that's not really what we've expected. We're getting a lot of calls and a lot of interest because it was out on social media." And long story short, they would not take our load because they were so inundated by folks in Ocean County. But I thought, wow, isn't that a great idea? But I think it has to be coordinated more on a county or tri-county level to do those kind of things. But using Christmas trees to help with the shoreline, to me, was really a win-win. And I hope that those kind of ideas come out. I know with the borough here that we're committed to putting solar up on many of our buildings. We have not gotten to that point yet, but I'm hoping 2020 will be the year that we do that. Obviously, we're looking also to put in the electric charges for electric cars so that people can charge up, and so we're working on that as well. We have a lot of things that we continue to work on. I know in our bidding process, we're also looking, like when I have a feeling our next police car will be an electric one, where 10 years ago when we were talking about it, they said it just didn't have enough power and enough reliability, but that technology has gotten only better and better. So I look at it all you, and I see that you're early adapters, you're on the forefront of this movement, and it's going to make our planet a better place, not only for us, but also for our children and our grandchildren. So I applaud all you for being here tonight, and again, welcome to Haddonfield.
Thank you, Mayor Rochford. Our next speaker is Zenón Tech-Czarny. Zenón is a research and project specialist for Sustainable Jersey, where he focuses on energy and climate change related research. His work is used to update and develop new sustainability policies, guidance, tools, and actions for local government. Zenón has over 10 years of professional experience working with private firms, public sector clients, nonprofit organizations, and academic institutions. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Planning from Rutgers University and a Master of Urban Planning from the City University of New York. Zenón will be speaking about steps to engage your residents and businesses in energy efficiency initiatives.
Thank you. If I just move this, that way you can see what slides are coming next. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here this evening. I just wanted to start real quickly with kind of getting a read on the audience. How many of y'all are green team members or members of your community that want to get involved in sustainability? Okay. And any municipal staff people? And any consultants? All right, so I guess primarily green teams, so this is good. So this presentation is primarily geared towards those green teams, those active citizens that want to push their municipality forward and also their community forward in terms of energy efficiency and sustainability. And so I guess before I start, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of Sustainable Jersey. For those that aren't familiar, I'm assuming that most people are. We're a certification program for municipalities and schools, and we provide tools and resources and guidance and actions for people to actually do the sustainability work. And so we also provide grants and funding, and we also organize these regional hubs as well. And we have a municipal program and schools program, like I mentioned, and about 80% of New Jersey municipalities are in the program, so we have a pretty wide coverage, and about 50% of schools. There's a lot of schools in New Jersey. So, for those that aren't familiar, there's actually 2 levels of certification right now, bronze and silver. And we actually have been starting this gold star, and so it's not quite the same as the other 2 levels. The gold star is actually in specific categories, so we actually have this gold star in energy, which I'll talk about a little bit later, and I would encourage everybody to do. So why are we here? I think everybody knows there's a crisis, and it doesn't take you very long to turn on the news to hear about climate change, and especially in recent years, it's been getting much worse. Australia has seen the worst fires in probably their history. Area the size of Indiana has been burned, and close to 1 billion species have been lost because of those fires. And because of emissions, and it's causing the planet to warm. And we're seeing these more extreme weather events, more extreme fires, more extreme drought, and more extreme hurricanes. And that leads to flooding and all sorts of other issues, disease. So, we need to do something about climate change. And there's various things that municipalities, citizens can do. There's adaptation, which is to adapt to climate change. So you can prepare for heat islands. That's where you have extreme heat in certain areas. Flood risk assessments. If you're along the coast, you can also do coastal vulnerability assessments and figure out how to deal with sea level rise. But there's also climate mitigation, which is really key to mitigating climate change. And that's reducing your greenhouse gas emissions through reducing driving of internal combustion engines, electrifying transportation, like the mayor was talking about in terms of EVs, is transitioning to renewable energy, and then energy efficiency, which is what we're here about tonight. And I think that's actually what I think and many believe are one of the most important things you can do. And so right here we have a chart that kind of shows these priorities from most and least sustainable, and conservation and energy efficiency are the top. The most sustainable energy is the energy you don't use. So a lot of people like to talk about solar being kind of the way to the future, and it is, but it doesn't make sense to have solar if you're using more energy than you need to be using. So it's really key to become more efficient. It's also, energy efficiency is also actually the cheapest form of energy if you actually compare it to other forms of energy. It's actually 2 to 3 times less in terms of price and cost in terms of investment than other forms most other forms of energy. So you see the green there, that's energy efficiency, and there's the different types of other sources. And so with that said, luckily we have the clean energy program here in New Jersey. Actually, we all pay for this program through the societal benefits charge on our utility bills. So a portion of every kilowatt that you use goes to the clean energy program. And they have great incentives, and Tony O'Donnell, who's here tonight from the Clean Energy Program, will be discussing that in a little bit more detail. You have incentives on the municipal side, you have incentives on the residential side, and you also have incentives on the commercial side. And they're very generous, and I think that everybody should be taking advantage of them. As far as the Sustainable Jersey program, we actually have a whole suite of actions related to energy. And here are some of the actions that we have in various categories, but tonight we're going to be focusing primarily on energy efficiency. And so, and I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about each key action in energy efficiency. As I mentioned also before, we do have this Gold Star standard in energy, and that is really for the people that really want to push things forward in terms of energy. And that standard is pretty tough, but it's doable, and it requires you to make reduction changes in your municipal operations, because that's what you kind of have control over. And then also completing a number of community-wide actions to sort of encourage sustainability and good energy use community-wide. So the first action I want to talk about this evening is energy tracking management, and this is primarily for your municipality. So, you know, if you're part of a green team, you should you know, talk to your staff, your municipal staff, somebody that deals with energy, and ask them, you know, are you guys tracking your energy? You think that, you know, that would be a no-brainer, but a lot of places are not tracking their energy. You know, they get their bill, they pay it. And in order to really effectively manage energy and push it forward in terms of sustainability, you have to manage it. You can't track, you have to track it. You can't manage what you can't track. And so, you know, there's different tiers for this action. Actually, for the first one, it's just kind of getting a building portfolio of all of the buildings in your municipality and tracking for 12 months. And then the additional is doing benchmarkings, where you compare buildings to each other and other and buildings from previous times. And so you can get that through this app or website called Energy Star Portfolio Manager, which is free through the US EPA. And I highly recommend it. It's not only for municipalities, it can be for businesses or big buildings, and it's a really important tool, useful tool in terms of tracking energy. Another key action in our energy efficiency actions is the energy efficiency for facilities action. So we have this action for the municipal program and also for the schools program. And this action has 5 different tiers. And so, actually, sorry, 6 different tiers. And I'm not going to get into the details, but it kind of starts with an audit, and that's kind of the first good step to being able to understand your energy usage, but then also make the improvements. So an auditor will go into your building and, you know, evaluate, you know, how much energy is it using, you know, what equipment is it using, what type of lights it's using, and make recommendations for improvements. And so the ASHRAE Level 2 local government energy audit is what could be done for a municipality or for a school, or for I guess other municipal buildings. But for a residential building, which I'll kind of go into later, it's a similar type of audit, but it's called an assessment. So this is part of really this previous action, but if a municipality wants to do more of a comprehensive overhaul of their energy systems in terms of energy efficiency, there's this program through the Clean Energy Program called the Energy Savings Improvement Plan, or program, that should have been corrected. But basically, this program allows municipalities to make the improvements and not have to spend any extra money, taxpayer money. It basically, the savings from the energy upgrades actually pay for itself. And so the diagram on the right sort of explains that pretty clearly. As far as outreach, you know, the name of this talk is really about what you can do for your community. I think that the municipal actions are really key, but getting out into your community and kind of explaining the need for energy efficiency is really critical. And so we have an action for residential outreach, and we also have an action for commercial, which I'll get into. But for this action, you need to just set up, there's 2 parts for the 10 points, is to set up a website. So on your municipal website, or web page on your municipal website, that kind of explains the benefit of energy efficiency and also the incentives through the Clean Energy Program. And then you have to do an additional outreach event. So that could be a number of different things, like a workshop or a video that the mayor does. And so, yeah, you can kind of pick and choose. And for the additional 10 points, you can do a mailer, and that can be done with the contractor RFP process or the utility partner approach. And so actually with that, with the RFP approach, you can kind of meet with or you get a vetted contractor through the RFP process that the municipality sort of, blesses, and it's a good deal. And you kind of, put a mailer out for the residents. And the utility approach is working with your utility to actually do those assessments. And so actually, South Jersey Gas and New Jersey Natural offer pretty good deals for assessments for residents, and they actually have their vetted contractors. So I recommend looking into that as well. For the commercial energy efficiency outreach, you start with an outreach letter, and that would be like a letter on your municipal letterhead with information about energy efficiency programs. And then you can do one other event, like a recognition program. For the for this, you can look into opportunity zones for better incentives. I forgot to mention that. And there's a map actually to identify commercial businesses in your town that we created. So if you can come talk with me afterwards in terms of getting a link for that map, but if you're interested in that, you can take a look there. For the 20 points of this action, you need to get a 2.5% increase in terms of direct install applications. And we actually have a list of all the towns in New Jersey and how many businesses they need to get to 2.5%. Finally, there's, like I said in the beginning, there's some other energy actions that we have dealing with solar, making your town solar friendly, and doing a solar outreach campaign, as well as electric vehicles, and that's the Make Your Town Solar and EV Friendly deal with zoning and other administrative things that can help promote the use of solar and EVs. And I should also mention, and I'm wrapping up, that there are a number of great grants for doing EV charging infrastructure and purchasing an EV. And so I let your towns know about these incentives. So there's the New Jersey DEP It Pays to Plug program, which offers some great incentives to install charging stations. And then also just now, the BPU announced the Clean Fleet EV incentive program, which provides municipalities $4,000 to purchase an EV. So, if any municipality is thinking about it, but it just needs an extra $4,000, that can help kind of get them over the hump. And then also $1,500 for charging equipment. And I should also mention that actually just the other day, Governor Murphy signed into law some great incentives for just average residents to purchase EVs. So you can get up to, I think, $5,000 for the purchase of an EV. So with that said, this is my contact information. I'll be standing next to the table after the event if you have any further questions. And thank you.
Our next speaker is Tony O'Donnell, who is going to talk to you about the clean energy programs and incentives for municipal governments, businesses, and homeowners and renters. Tony used to work at Sustainable Jersey's energy program, and 2 years ago moved to TRC as Outreach Account Manager to manage the New Jersey Clean Energy Program at the BPU. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First, before I start, I want to thank the Tri-County Sustainability Alliance for inviting us to speak. I'm very excited. This is a much larger audience than I usually get, so you're to be congratulated for your enthusiasm for coming out. Thank you for hosting, Mayor. This is a wonderful facility. I will say, my girlfriend laughed at me when I got ready. She's like, "Why are you putting on a short sleeve shirt in January?" And I said, "I'm challenging the weather." I bought one of those electric snow blowers that you saw. I spent $850 and I have not moved it out of the garage yet. So I want it to snow. And I just like the snow. So, but it's nice to talk to you. And I did notice that it looks like they're more heavily in residential. As I was introduced, I cover Central Jersey as the outreach account manager for commercial industrial, which essentially covers everything that's not residential. So I'm familiar with those. I'll get through some of the programs that we have. I apologize if I don't talk about a particular program that you're interested in. My card is in the back table. The programs that I am going to talk about, I have one-page flyers on the back table. I have a colleague here, Hap Haven, is in the back. Some of you, probably more of you know Hap than know me. We will both be here to mingle with you afterwards, and I'll stay as long as you want to answer questions. So, with having said that, let me get on. So, Zenón did a nice job setting some of this. I can go quickly through. So, yes, we are funded by all of us. We all fund this program. $300 million annual budget for the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. Anybody that uses energy has a small part on their bill. So that is municipalities, school districts, residents, businesses. You're all paying a pretty small amount. Most people don't ever use the program. We're trying to get people to use this program. We want you to use higher energy efficiency equipment. So our goal is to educate people, change their behavior, get them to use the equipment that admittedly is considerably more expensive than less efficient equipment. That's only if you consider the upfront cost. If you consider the lifetime of it, really you're making out on the energy savings, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't make that upfront big money amount any easier to swallow. So that's what we're here. We're here to incentivize you, give you some money to help defray those upfront costs. And by doing this, we hope to help the governor reach his goal of 100% clean energy. So I'll go through some of the program highlights. We've processed about 8,000 applications every month, so on the variety of residential and commercial programs, and we pay out about $13 million a month in incentives. So there's a lot of money. The results, the energy efficiency that those incentives churn out, work out, you can look at it different ways. If you want to look at the carbon removed from the atmosphere from doing 75,000 cars, that is about the same. Or if you want to look at just tree planted, it would be about 6 million trees. So annually, this is actually as of fiscal year 14, the clean energy program reduced metric emissions by about 350,000 tons. That works out to the carbon profile of New Jersey was about 100 million metric tons. So it's about a third of 1%. So we have much farther to go, so that's why we like to come out and talk to you to get people to use these programs. The portfolio of programs, as I mentioned, since everybody pays into it, the BPU has designed a program that everyone should be able to benefit from it. So residences, businesses, schools, municipalities, and across different types of technology. So we have programs on renewable energy. We have programs on special energy efficiency projects. So we have an exciting new program, a community energy grant program. I won't talk about that. In fact, I'll talk about a small portion of these tonight. But Zenón did put up in his presentation our clean energy website. I invite you to go there and poke around. And if you ever have any questions, to reach out to us. As I said, there are commercial and industrial programs. There are distributed energy resources. So we all remember it gets a little farther, the farther we get away from it, but the inconvenience from Hurricane Sandy and a really bad weather event. There are programs that are developed to make this more resilient through distributed energy resources. And finally, there's a gigantic section that's devoted to residential programs. So I'm going to talk just about the commercial industrial, a few of those that are most applicable, and then about some of the more popular residential programs. So on the commercial and industrial side, it falls into a couple buckets. So one is, if you don't know what to do, you probably need to go ahead and get some information first. So if say you're a municipal building facilities manager or a school facilities manager, and you don't really have an idea how efficient are these buildings, we have programs that we will actually pay to do a local government energy audit or energy assessment of the building. It's a high-level audit, and that gives you some sense of, okay, are my buildings really efficient, or in the middle of the road, or not as efficient? So I will talk about the local government energy audits. I'll talk about pay for performance, direct install, and smart start. But as far as some of these programs have additional incentives. If it's a little hard to see on the right there, but there's a map. If you're in an urban enterprise zone or an opportunity zone, you automatically qualify for, in the Smart Start program, double to the incentives. And in the direct install program, we've increased the percentage level. I'll mention those as I talk about those particular programs. And also, besides the geographic qualifier, if you're a school or a municipality, you qualify for some of those enhanced incentives this year. So back to, I was talking about the local government energy audit. So schools and municipalities can get this audit done. It involves collecting a year's worth of bills. We send out an auditor who will assess the building, walk through, take a list of all the equipment that is in the building, and return a report back a couple months after that tells you, okay, this is where you are in your energy usage compared to similar buildings. So one, we're benchmarking your energy use. Two, the heart of the report is actually a whole list of energy conservation measures, ECMs. One, energy conservation one might be, you should really change your lights. You have old T fluorescent lights, you can change them all with LEDs and save a certain amount of money. For each of those energy conservation measures, it will tell you how much it should cost you to do that, how much you will save annually if you do that, and what incentives are available through the clean energy, through these other programs I'll talk about in a minute. And then give you a simple payback. How quickly will it pay back? And then there's some tests that will recommend some of them and not recommend some of them. A lot of information in these reports. The process I've already actually described. We gather data, we send somebody out, and then we give you a report that you can act on. So that first bucket is information. You're not actually, you get the audit, but you're not actually yet changing anything. These next programs on the commercial industrial side are now you're actually getting into changing them. And they are based, essentially there's this pay for performance program is for much larger buildings, and then the other two programs I'll talk about are for small and medium sized buildings. The line of demarcation for that is the maximum energy usage, the peak energy usage averaged over 12 months. So that is, so for air conditioning, usually in July or August, the day that it's 101, that's probably the most that you'll use your electric that summer, right? So the peak amount. So if you're over a peak amount of 200 kilowatt in electricity, you qualify for the pay for performance program. And that program, since it's larger buildings, that program involves dealing with specific contractors that are trained to do this program, and they will develop an energy reduction plan based on the building. If it's a larger building and uses a lot of energy, and it does, if it's over 200 kilowatts, there's going to be some pretty advanced engineering to figure out what you would do to squeeze out the most savings. And then they will, so you get an incentive to help pay for the energy reduction plan. You get a second incentive when you actually build the equipment, and then a year after it's built, they'll take a look at your savings. If you've achieved the savings that were in the report, and you usually do, you get a final. So you get a bunch of savings that can add up to about 50% of the cost of the project. So if you're not a large user, if you're a small or medium-sized building that uses less than 200 kilowatts, then you have a couple options. You can do the direct install program, which again, it covers, like pay for performance, it's a whole building approach. It's not just lighting, it's not just HVAC, it's everything. It's looking at the whole building. So to make the math easy, so imagine you had a small school and you went through direct install and they recommended you do a bunch of things that the cost add up to $100,000. This program for schools and municipalities, you get the enhanced incentive, would pay 80% of that is paid by the clean energy program to the energy, whoever does the work. You're only going to be paying 20%, so $20,000. So that's a great deal. 4 out of $5 are being paid by the state. And it's a fairly quick program, so this just talks about the incentive levels. If you don't want to do a comprehensive one and you know that you just have lighting issues and you just want to do lighting or you just want to do HVAC or something individual, you could use the Smart Start program instead. That program has rebate, that is a rebate structure. Instead of covering a percentage of the total amount for each piece of equipment you replace, as long as it meets energy efficiency standards in the program, you get an amount. The enhanced incentives in this program doubled for schools and municipalities last year. So whereas direct install covers 80%, this program probably covers 40 to 60% of the cost of the replacement equipment. And so that's a great program for folks that don't want to do the whole building and have specific systems that they want to do. So that's the basic. You notice I didn't talk about solar. I don't have time, but I am willing to talk about it with anyone who wants to talk about it. I do want to cover quickly the residential programs. So they're very much like a corollary with the commercial industrial programs. So there are some programs that do assessments, and there are some that, most of them, that do pay you for actually doing upgrades. These are the ones. Home Performance with Energy Star is a program that will do an energy assessment of your house and then allow you, based on that assessment, to do energy upgrades and give you fairly rich incentives to do that. Provides a whole house audit. In addition to saving you energy, this program addresses comfort and indoor air quality issues. And it uses specially trained Building Performance Institute contractors. I actually did this program in 2004, and at the time I got a $5,000 grant. I had about $18,000 or $19,000 worth of upgrades. I had a new air conditioner, a new water heater, a new gas furnace, a bunch of air sealing, about $18,000. $5,000 off the top for a grant. I think it's 4 now, and then 0 interest loan for the rest for 10 years. And so I'm saving more per month than I'm paying back for a long time. So this is a great program. But I've already talked about some of the benefits. If you have particular pieces of equipment, so instead of doing the whole house, if you have particular pieces of equipment, you can go through the Warm and Cool Advantage program. That, again, like Smart Start, that's a rebate type of program. You get a certain amount of money per piece of equipment, and those are listed on the website. There are appliance rebates. So some of these are point of sale rebates. So if you go into Home Depot, you can save money on LED lights. Sometimes you should see our Clean Energy Program logo, and the incentive is already built into the price of that bulb. Also, there are rebates on dehumidifiers, washers, dryers, air conditioners. All types of different pieces of equipment. We have a appliance recycling program. So if you have an old, really inefficient freezer, we'll come pick it up and pay you $50. So we come pick it up and then send you a check for $50, and then hope that you'll take advantage of another rebate when you buy your new one and buy a higher energy efficiency one, right? So that's the idea behind that. And finally, the last one I'll talk about, I said up front that we care about getting everybody involved. So the Comfort Partners program is a program aimed at lower income residents so to help them get the benefits of energy efficiency as well. It's a statewide program, but it's run through the utilities. So in each area, you contact your utility if you qualify for based on income, and they would work with you to do upgrades on your house and pieces of equipment and other energy saving things. And then I guess I'll leave it there just to remind you, this is our contact information. Don't forget, and Patrick will be talking next from South Jersey Gas. These are programs that are state level programs. Each utility, you should always check your local utility. So for PSE&G and South Jersey Gas, I think that's pretty much covers everybody around here. Check with those utilities. They may have complementary programs that work and will get you additional savings in addition to what I talked about in the state program. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to mingling with you afterwards.
Thank you, Tony. Our next speaker is Patrick McDevitt, who is an Energy Efficiency Program Coordinator at South Jersey Gas. He is also the founder of Sustainable Monroe Township, chair of the Monroe Green Team, and active in the Tri-County Sustainability Alliance. In addition, Patrick was recognized as a Sustainable Jersey Hero in 2016. Patrick will be speaking about energy efficiency incentives for residents and businesses.
Hello everyone, thanks for coming out tonight. I didn't bring a fancy PowerPoint, but I do have all of our information over at the table. We'll be here afterwards if you need any questions, we can help you right over there. So as a few folks mentioned, we're South Jersey Gas. Is anyone here a South Jersey Gas customer? Great. So first thing I want to talk about was a lot of people don't know yet, South Jersey Gas has launched an online marketplace where if you're a South Jersey Gas customer, you can log on through the website, you verify your account, and there's a multitude of products you can buy at deep discounts, including smart thermostats, with some of them $150 instant rebate, so you can almost get it for free, water saving products, LED lights, and power strips. So that's just a little offering to get you interested in energy efficiency, and then we hope you look at our other programs as well. All these are on our website, and you can go there anytime and see this information. I have most of it over here with me as well. The next thing we do is an instant home energy analysis, where again, right online, you can do this at your kitchen table. You key in some quick facts about your house, and it'll do just a quick overview of some things that you might want to consider doing to help you lower your energy costs. And a new program we just kicked off this year, we are offering a $49 home assessment where our partner contractor will come out to your house. He'll spend a couple hours and go through every part of your house and really leave you with a full comprehensive report of steps you could take to lower your energy and become more comfortable in your house. It seems every house has this funky room that for some reason can never get cool enough or warm enough, and typically there is a reason for that. So they'll do a real deep dive diagnostics and they'll find out, tell you how you can address that issue. When you do that assessment, this company will be happy to give you a quote to do the work, but importantly, you'll have the report that you can use to shop around, talk to other contractors, and get multiple bids, which we always recommend. And really what our big help is really we do financing. So when you come to the end of life of your equipment, oftentimes it can be costly, so we do help with financing. So if you're just simply replacing any of your equipment, heating, air conditioning, hot water heater, we offer a loan up to $11,000 for 7 years at 0% interest. So this would just be a secondary bill you get every month. It doesn't go on your gas bill, it's a separate one, but super low financing, and it's a good way to upgrade your equipment to become much more efficient. And then we heard a little bit about the home performance with Energy Star. So we do participate with that with our contractor. We like home performance because, again, it's not just looking at your broken thing and putting another one in there, but it's really looking at your whole house. Takes a comprehensive look, it's holistic, and it really addresses a lot of your issues that you could be having. And we do offer financing for that, 2 different tiers, up to $10,000, 0% for 7 years, and if you can go up to $15,000 at 0.99% for 9 years. So again, people just find it's a really easy way to upgrade their equipment and not be put out financially. I did want to mention also South Jersey Gas is a big sponsor of Sustainable Jersey. We've been sponsoring them for several years. We also sponsor their partner program in the schools, Sustainable Jersey for Schools. So if anyone is connected with a school, we have a new program that we're doing this year, totally 100% funded by the gas company, where it's called Power Save Schools, where we come in and supply a whole curriculum about energy education for your school, and it's a free program. We would just need a teacher to be a champion and put the program in. And last year we did 11 schools. We wanted to expand this year, so we're doing 40 schools. So far right now we're up to 30 schools, so we have 10 spots left. If anyone is interested, I'm happy to talk to you about that. I did want to mention also, you heard the term Comfort Partners. So South Jersey Gas actually has a whole department talks about energy assistance. So now with the new Sustainable Jersey Actions talking about outreach to your community, we have a whole team that would be happy to come out to your community event, green fair, anything, a public meeting like this, and tell you about the energy assistance. The Comfort Partners program, and we do have a home weatherization program called Moderate Income, totally free services if you qualify. It's income eligible. So that's something, I have information on that as well. And certainly on the commercial side, we get involved with the direct install program, and we work with the state and with the contractors. Super financing, in fact, one of our customers, Ocean City, New Jersey, if anybody goes down there, Keith is the Varsity Inn, and he was interested in this program. He was so happy with it that now he's on our advertising. And then pay for performance and other programs, we complement the state programs. And once again, we always like to stress is we all pay for these on our gas and electric bills. So you shouldn't, worry about taking advantage of it. Definitely check out the programs. If you're not a South Jersey Gas customer, definitely check with your service utility, and they'll be happy to help you. And I think that's all I have for tonight. So thanks again for coming out.
Thank you, Patrick. We'd like to welcome our next speaker, David R. Mayer. David Mayer is mayor of Gloucester Township, so he's mayor. He currently serves as the Director of Government Affairs of New Jersey American Water, and he serves on the Board of Trustees for the Chamber of Commerce in Southern New Jersey.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening. Yes, my last name is Mayer. I tell everybody I was born to be a mayor. I've been a mayor my whole life, actually. So it's great to be with you. Mayor, thank you for your hospitality this evening, and for all of you being here and your commitment to sustainability. I want to thank Sustainable Jersey, the Alliance, for the great work that they do in our state. And we've had the good fortune to work with them over the years. When I became mayor, well, first, you've heard about all the different programs and details about the programs. I'm going to talk about the community aspect of this, and how do you accomplish things in the community. 10 years ago when I became mayor, one of the first things we did is create a green team. It is so very important. Steve is here. He's chair of our green team, and I thank him for his great work and efforts. We created that because you really need community buy-in. And I encourage each and every one of you to approach your governing bodies, if you're interested in creating a green team in your community, to do so. I would hope that they would welcome that with open arms. And so we created that green team, and we set out on a course to qualify for Sustainable New Jersey, looking through their initiatives as guidance. And we did that. We're silver certified today. I don't think you have gold. We would try to do that too, but we're silver certified, and we're very, very proud of those accomplishments. The second thing we did is we created what I call an energy master plan. What we wanted to do is really look holistically at energy and the cost of energy in municipal budgets. As the mayor knows, you only can control so much of a municipal budget. So one of those costs is electric costs and energy consumption. And so we set out on a course to develop an energy master plan. And that plan includes everything from solar to changing LED lights in our traffic lights, to electric vehicles. You name it, it's in that plan, because we wanted an organized fashion to move forward. So we had the community buy-in with our green team, and I created an energy committee, and we still meet today every other week with our township administrator, our engineer, and we brought in an energy consultant, Blue Sky Power, because we're not experts in this stuff, and we needed guidance to help us along the way. And so by creating this plan, we then set in motion a variety of different things that we could do all at once. So we can change our LED lights in the traffic lights and start working on electric vehicles, but at the same time, we can go down the road conversion to solar power. And we brought in our schools. We have 2 school districts in Gloucester Township, our regional high school district, and then our local K to 8 district. It's the largest in New Jersey, and so we brought them in. and said, look, we'll do this for you. You educate our children, that's what you're good at. Let us, the town, help you with solar energy. And today we have the largest shared services solar project in the state of New Jersey. Almost 50% of the energy consumed in our schools is through clean renewable energy. And we're very proud of that. We continue to work on our solar agenda. We have an old Owens Corning fiberglass dump that we've put solar on. We will be breaking ground this year on a solar project on what is called the GEMS landfill. It's no gem. It is was one of the most polluted Superfund sites in the nation. That's why when Congressman Florio was there, he introduced that legislation, and we have the Superfund legislation to this day. But we're going to turn that wasted land into a clean, renewable, generating piece of property. And so we kind of looked at this holistically by looking at by creating that energy master plan on the backs of our green team and the support of our green team, and then creating the energy committee that would keep us moving with the help of the consultant who's the expert in this. And so you need the community buy-in. You certainly need the government buy-in as well. The government is not going to do it by itself. You need to be a part of that. And so we're very excited about the future, and we are. But we're still active and moving forward. We put electric charging stations at our municipal hall. We got rid of our diesel trucks that were used for construction and code enforcement. Now we have electric vehicles that plug in right out back in the municipal hall. This year we will be installing electric charging stations throughout the municipality, primarily in our parks. And so we're excited about that. We have everything from a community garden. I even put the single stream recycling program in our plan, the sustainable plan. We were not single stream recycling several years ago, and we converted the town to single stream recycling. It's actually worked out really well. We've increased recycling 45%. The challenge today is the recycling market is deplorable. And China is not accepting our recycling anymore, so the market is upside down, and it's going to be costing municipalities a lot of money now to recycle, which is a dilemma that we need to figure out a solution to. That we're working hard on, because we're putting less in our trash stream, right, to go to the incinerator or dump, because we're moving that by recycling more. But now we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with that recycling material, because no one's accepting it. And right now we're paying $5 a ton, which is a great deal because we're locked in, although there's I think the company wants to get out of that. Most towns in Camden County are in that contract. But eventually the market is about $60 a ton. And so we're going to see dramatic increases in that. We'll have to make some challenges or we're going to have to figure out some solutions to that. So I encourage you to get involved in your community. You saw the different types of programs that are there, and Sustainable Jersey's there to answer your questions and help support you along the way. But it is so, we would never be silver certified if I didn't have Steve and the green team who really pushed it along the way, totally committed to it. And we're always looking for innovative and creative ways to be more sustainable. And again, it's a good environmental project, but it also financially for the town, it's really reduced our electric costs dramatically, and the school district as well, as I mentioned. So happy to answer questions afterwards, but I do thank you for being here and showing the commitment and the interest in sustainability. So thanks for having me.
Okay. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Okay, it's my pleasure now to invite our friend and Haddonfield business owner, Marcello DeFeo, to say a few words. Marcello started working in kitchens at the age of 11. I couldn't get my kids to do that. He currently owns the Best of Philly award-winning Valenti's Italian Specialties here in Haddonfield and co-owns both Salento Sandwich Company and founder and signer. Valenti's is a New Jersey registered green business, and he's going to share a bit of what that means here with y'all tonight. What?
So, first off, as you could tell from my little introduction, I'm clearly as qualified as everyone else who spoke tonight. So, honestly, I don't have a great PowerPoint presentation. I don't have any fancy statistics. I don't have anything incredibly motivational to say. And the truth of the matter is that that's okay, because I asked Laura, I said, Laura, what am I supposed to speak about? What information could I possibly pass on to all of you that would be of worth? And she gave me a handful of different talking points, and they all boiled down to one word, and that was why. Why did I do this? Why did I join the registry? Why am I part of this effort? I'm part of Sustainable Haddonfield. And the first thought that came to my mind is, it's easy, right? Like, there's not a lot of effort that it takes to make some sustainable changes to your business and to your lifestyle. And the second point that came to my mind is, I like saving money. I don't know about you guys, but we've heard of ways tonight that you can save money. And much like Tony had mentioned earlier, I did the same program maybe about 10 years ago, and we got $5,000 grant, free and clear, to improve the energy efficiency in our home, and then a $10,000 loan with 0% interest for 10 years. And someone came out, they did an audit of our house, and they said, we could do X, Y, and Z for you, and here's how much it's going to cost, and here's what your savings is going to be. And I said, so you're telling me it's going to cost me $83 a month to save $200 to $300 a month? And I said, yeah, okay, fine, right? It's kind of a no-brainer. And it's the same with my business. There are very simple, easy changes that took no time at all to make in order to save some money and to make things a little more sustainable, a little bit better in the world. You know, it doesn't have to be a big crusade. It could just be little tiny changes. We put in some LED lights. I added a Nest thermostat to our store, and something like that, especially in a business, is incredibly helpful because there's so much time where you're closed, and you can put it on the eco mode, you can turn it off when you need to. And one of my favorite modes about it is, I don't know how many of you, I'm assuming, how many of you work in an office building, right? A good bit of you. So you've probably gone through the thermostat wars in your office building, where there's always the really cold person and always the really hot person. So one of the things I love about the Nest is I saw this energy just going up and down where, like, why is my thermostat set to 82 degrees? And then why is it set to 65 degrees? And so I got to lock the thermostat. And that was kind of awesome because I got to control my costs and it stopped fighting because they all hated me for it. And I was okay with that. And really the truth of the matter is, there's not much else from a business owner standpoint that you need to do to start getting involved in this. Sure, there's other little measures that we've taken. We've changed to all paper bags. After we joined the registry, the New Jersey Sustainable Business Registry, we were able to get Kathy Gold from In the Kitchen Cooking School to join. I was hoping she would change her name to In the Sustainable Kitchen Cooking School, but we couldn't convince her to do that. We've also gotten Leaf, the vegan restaurant in town, to join, or be in the process of signing up, which effectively has doubled the number of businesses in town here that are part of it. So small steps, right? That's in a very, very brief period of time, and it kind of has like a trickle effect. The more businesses will continue to join, more businesses will realize the impact of doing little things. Like we have a little herb garden out in front. We work with local farmers. We used to use distributors that were up in New York and further away from us, and we switched to all local businesses. So we got to cut out tons of gas mileage. The cost of the gas savings, the emissions is measurable, but I'm just going to say it's immeasurable because it can be if enough businesses do that. And it's the think globally, act locally, and start small. That's all you have to do, and that's really the mission, the message that I have is just make one little change, make two little changes, and you'll get to see the measurable impact of that, and that'll lead to the next change and the change after that. And that's all that I have. So thank you.
Thank you, Marcello. Lastly, I would like to introduce the Tri-County Sustainability Alliance's own Sean Moen. After a long career on Wall Street, Sean returned home to South Jersey to be closer to family and to help enable our local philanthropic endeavors related to sustainability. Sean is currently a member of the Oakland Green Team, and tonight he's going to share with us a first-hand account of how his own family has benefited from the energy saving and energy education programs available to residents.
PowerPoint hate tonight. I don't understand why. Thank you, Isla. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. And thank you to the beautiful borough of Haddonfield for hosting us. How's the mic? Does it follow me when I turn my head or no? I guess not. Okay. So tonight, right now, we have neighbors out there that are moving space heaters from room to room, and they're keeping their thermostat at 63 degrees. And on really hot days, they're not turning their air conditioning on because they're terrified of their electric bill. And so, just one thing to recognize, as we've heard earlier, inefficient equipment is a huge component of our utility bills. The New Jersey Comfort Partners Program, which is a free energy saving program for those neighbors we were just talking about who qualify, the goal of that program is to save money and energy. And if you'll indulge me, I'd like to share my family's experience. In 2017, my father passed away, and that left my mother, after 62 years of marriage, she was 82 at the time, she was now head of the household for the first time in her life. Suffice to say, she didn't have a lot of experience paying bills, and she didn't even know the PIN on her ATM card, so we had a lot of work to do. So fast forward to February of 2018, and I was sitting with my mother helping her pay the bills, and we got to her PSE&G bill. And you guys know this, when you open the utility bills, a lot of different brochures fall out. And we just happened to notice the brochure for Comfort Partners. And so after that February bill, we paid the bill, and then Mom called the 800 number. And about 3 days later, she got a call from Honeywell. And her first thought was, did Comfort Partners sell my contact information to Honeywell? The answer, of course, is no. As we've heard earlier, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities sanctions, I think it's 165 or so of these contractors to actually act as project managers for programs like Comfort Partners. And so Honeywell was my mom's rep. And so Honeywell and my mom scheduled what they call an energy audit of her house. And what that is, basically, the folks from Honeywell come in and the audit takes about 3 to 4 hours. And they sent 15 different guys, and they were either from Honeywell or they were subcontractors, but all subject experts. And they did things like what they call a visual inspection, where they check for health and safety issues like mold and carbon dioxide, and is there moisture? And they also do what's called a blower door test. This one I actually was at my mom's house when they did it. It's really cool. They almost like bubble wrap the entire house, and they can see where all the leaks are coming out. And so that helps them identify where you're losing energy, right? So after the blower door test, and completed the rest of their analysis, the audit gave them, findings. And so Honeywell, on behalf of Comfort Partners, they replaced the hot water heater in my mother's house. They put new filters on all of the vents and ducts in her house. They put new carbon monoxide detectors, carbon monoxide detectors in her house. And this one is probably the most important. They I don't know if it's fixed or built, they created the air sealing. I wasn't familiar with that term, but basically, that's where all the leaks are coming out. It's either your ceiling, your attic and your basement. That's where all in the winter, the hot air is going out and the cold air is coming in. And they fixed all of those cracks, if you will. They used foam and whatever the latest technology is available, and so they addressed that. And so all of this was at no cost out of to my mother at the time. So this is probably the point in the audience where the libertarians in the audience are thinking, all right, great, who pays for all of this? And as was mentioned in some of the earlier presentations, there's something called the SBC, or Societal Benefits Charge, which we all pay. Everybody in the Garden State, that we pay it in our utility bills, and it's been there for a long time. And so homeowners like you and like my mother have been paying into this thing for years and years and years. So it's not really a free program, it's payback. You're getting your money back, basically. And so we all benefit from homes and buildings in the community that are more energy efficient. But as long as we're talking about money, I'd like to draw your attention to the PowerPoint. This is a copy of my mother's February 2018. I know it says January at the top, but the bill is actually due on February 12th. Her monthly PSE&G bill in February of 2018 was $409. That's a lot for a widow, right? And you can see the gas is a really big part of it, but $409. So this is a good timestamp, February 12th, 2018. I believe this is the bill that we were opening in the brochures fell out, and this is the one, that's the week she called Comfort Partners. And so, I would too, but I was looking at the history, last bill, $409. So it's been going on, she was paying that the whole time. And so she called Comfort Partners. This was February, so that whole spring is when they put in the free hot water heater and the new filters in the vents, and they fixed all the cracks and the air sealing and all that stuff. So we're going to flash forward. This is, again, February 2018. Her bill is $409. This is February 2019, and she was paying $409 a month. Her bill is now $252 a month. Now that's pretty illustrative, right? $150 a month back in my mom's pocket. You guys all have mothers, you guys all have grandmothers, you have great aunts and uncles. They could all use an extra $150 a month. And equally important, actually more important I should say, at the bottom, I don't know if you guys can read this, it says, how much energy are you using? And it says this is my mother, you used 36.3% less electric than you did in this month last year. You used 11.3 less gas than you did this month last year. Could you imagine if everybody in this room used 36% less electric a month? How great would that be in terms of our goal to fighting the war on global warming, right? And the thing is, there are programs like this for all of us. Bear with me. Okay, so I'm wrapping it up here, but for some of us, no longer having to lug space heaters from room to room, like the people we were talking about in the beginning of this, or having to staple plastic to their windows because the draft's coming in. That's a quality of life improvement, right? Not to mention $150 a month. If you're like my mother, cumulatively, that's about $1,800 a year back in your pocket. That's money for things like the Hallmark Channel app or whatever it is Chip and Joanna sell. I don't even know what they do, but mom likes them. But she's got that money to spend on things that make her comfortable. And that's the point. And the goal of tonight's program, it's not just to inform you, but it's to get you to act. And so to that, you can see at the end of this desk, there's a placard with a QR code on it. Everybody in this room is going to take their smartphone and they're going to point the camera at that QR code, and that's going to bring you to the New Jersey, sorry, a lot of names going on for me, sorry. The New Jersey Clean Energy Program, which you've heard a lot about. It's going to bring you to their website, and it's going to show you all of the programs. I think, Tony, I think there are, 8 in total of them. And so we talked about the Comfort Partners, which my mom and other seniors can benefit from. But there's other ones that all of us, regardless of which demographic group we come from, will qualify for one or more of them. So your homework, when all the speakers are done, smartphone, camera, bring it, your browser will have the New Jersey Clean Energy Program website in there. Okay, thanks everyone.